Hello everyone, Aurora here. Welcome back to the channel and another episode of the relationship series where we are all about healthy premarital relationships and finding your perfect partner. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and bell notification so you never miss out. In today's video, we're getting real about one of the biggest commitments two people can make, marriage. You know the saying, you never really know someone? Well, that's especially true when it comes to tying the knot. Sure, you might know your partner's favorite pizza toppings or their go-to Netflix genre, but do you really understand their core values, life goals, and ability to work through conflicts? Those are the make or break factors that can doom even the most picture-perfect couples. As a relationship observer with over 20+ years under my belt, I've seen way too many marriages crumble due to hidden incompatibilities the partners never anticipated. For example, a simple question like, how would you describe your relationship with your family? Doesn't seem that deep, right? But the way they answer can give you major insight into their emotional intelligence, values they were raised with, and any dysfunctional patterns or baggage they might be carrying from childhood. A healthy, self-aware response acknowledges both the strengths and weaknesses of their family dynamic without harboring bitterness. But if they lash out negatively or demonstrate zero emotional intelligence about their relatives, that could be a big red flag for future conflicts. Next up is the question, how do you typically handle stress or conflict? Now, this one is an absolute must-ask, because it gives you a direct window into your partner's coping mechanisms, communication style, and ability to resolve issues in a healthy way, which is pretty crucial for a successful marriage, am I right? When they answer, you'll want to listen for signs that they have constructive strategies for managing stress and resolving disagreements. Ideally, their response will involve techniques like taking a break to cool off, then reapproaching the situation calmly to have an open conversation about both perspectives. They should demonstrate a willingness to really hear you out and work together to find a mutually agreeable solution. On the other hand, if their answer is more along the lines of, I typically shut down or get aggressive when dealing with conflicts, well, that's a big old waving red flag right there. Those avoidant or hostile coping mechanisms are absolutely relationship kryptonite. The same applies if they mention turning to unhealthy vices like excessive drinking, drugs, or other destructive behaviors when facing stresses. Not good for a healthy, long-lasting marriage. The next undercover question to bring up is, what are your short-term and long-term goals? This one lets you evaluate whether your life visions and priorities are actually aligned in a compatible way. Because let's be real, that opposites attract thing can be cute for a while, but eventually you need a foundation of shared core values and aspirations. When they share their goals, take note of whether they have a thoughtful, realistic plan, or if their expectations seem a bit too lofty or non-existent. And obviously, you'll want to make sure their biggest aims don't directly clash with your own dreams and purpose. Because as much as we hate to admit it, that trophy wife who wants to be a stay-at-home mom probably isn't going to last alongside the career-driven CEO bachelor. The goals have to be in harmony. Another clever question to slide in, how important is financial stability to you? This one allows you to suss out if you're going to perpetually clash over money management and budgets, which we all know is one of the top reasons for divorce. You'll want to watch for whether their response demonstrates a balanced, realistic approach to finances that matches your own level of responsibility and shared goals. If one of you is a total cheapskate who hoards every penny while the other sees cash as something to be burned, well, that fundamental difference in money mindsets could spell major issues down the road when it comes to things like saving for your future family, big purchases, etc. Definitely a crucial area for seeing eye to eye as a couple. Here's an underrated but super insightful question. What's your idea of a perfect weekend? See, this one on the surface seems like no big deal, but in reality it reveals a ton about your partner's interests, energy levels, social preferences, and overall lifestyle. And having a fun yet compatible lifestyle synergy is low-key one of the biggest factors for long-term relationship happiness and sustainability. For example, if their perfect weekend is all about wild nights of partying and day raging while yours consists of low-key Netflix and reading sessions, well, that clash of social tempos could definitely breed resentments over time. Or if one partner's ideal downtime involves constant socializing while the other craves quality silence and solitude, again, your definitions of re-energizing could prove pretty polarizing, so take note of whether your visions align or if there's a serious mismatch. Last, but certainly not least, you'll want to slyly ask, how would you describe your relationship with your parents and family? I know. This one can seem overly personal or like straying into sensitive topics. But hear me out, because the way your partner talks about their family actually reveals so much about the emotional baggage, boundary issues, and dysfunctional patterns they may or may not be bringing into your relationship. If they can discuss their parents and relatives with a grounded, self-aware perspective, owning the good and the bad without intense bitterness or resentment, that's typically a green light for reasonable emotional intelligence. But on the flip side, if they launch into an intense tirade painting their whole family as evil, toxic monsters, or alternatively, if they put their relatives so high on a pedestal that they can deny any flaws, both of those extremes could signal some unchecked childhood wounds or lack of boundaries that'll eventually impact your marriage too. So those are my top pre-marriage questions to help you find out whether your partner truly has the right compatibility factors to make your union a happily ever after story. Let me know in the comments if you've used any of these sneaky tactics yourself or have any other convo starters to recommend. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more quality content. Check out the next video in the relationship series. Bye for now.